Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 stocks that I'm buying in November and definitely by the end of the year to purchase even after the Dow is up 1,200 points, man. This is actually, I don't know if it's one of the biggest one-day upswings of the Dow, but it's actually crazy how high it is up today, especially since a lot of tech stocks are down. So a lot of like retail and stuff is up like crazy. And specifically stocks I talked about on this channel are up 20+%. So if you guys bought any of those stocks from watching my video, definitely like congrats to that. That is actually pretty crazy. Right before we jump into the meat of this video, make sure to sign up to Webull if you haven't already. If you sign up today, I don't know when this is ending, but you'll actually get 3 free stocks. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And they could literally be all worth up to $1,600. So if you guys click the link in the description, I use Webull myself pretty much daily and it's really good. I would definitely recommend it. Just make sure to sign up, open up a brokerage, and deposit $100. That's all you have to do, and you can get up to $1,600 and 3 free stocks. So definitely do that if you haven't already. You just have to live in the US. I'll have a link down below. So 3 stocks that I literally talked about on this channel are up like almost 20+%. Win is up. Okay, let's go day 25%, man. That's crazy. Nordstrom, which I have quite a bit of, is up 17%. It was up like 30% at one point, which I don't really blame. It's a retailer at the end of the day. But the third one, which I don't think I have it pulled up right now, is it's Cake, which is obviously Cheesecake Factory. It's up 22%. That is insane. I actually sold off all my cake stock today. I'm kind of mad because I sold it off at $32, which like a third of my position I just sold off at 32 right here. And then it came back down. I'm like, okay, it's good. I sold it and then it's up 37 and I sold the rest of it today at like 37.70. Just because I want to make room. Cheesecake Factory is basically even for the year and I don't want to. And if you guys bought it and you still want to hold it, okay, that's fine. But if you bought it anytime in the last 6 months, you probably made some pretty good gains, man. Especially at the bottom, you would have doubled your money. But at this point, there isn't much growth opportunity. Yeah, you can maybe get up to $45 with Cheesecake if you count if Roni completely goes away, if COVID completely leaves. Yeah, it can go back up to 45. You'll make another 20% maybe. But for me, I feel like there's a lot greater opportunities. And if you have like, let's say, a lot of retail stocks that are up almost even for the year, I would definitely take profits and go into stocks that have more growth. So let's talk about those right now. The first one I have is SBE, Switchback Energy. Now this one is a little bit of caution. This is more of a spec play, but it's still a heavily established business. So I feel like this is also underrated, man. A lot of people talk about let's go right here, Hyliion, like a lot of these speculative electric companies. Let's go Workhorse. We have, I don't know, we have Nikola, like a ton of these electric companies that probably aren't gonna be around, man, that aren't really that big. But Switchback Energy is a charging company. Now, this isn't the company name, man. This is just the acquisition. So I believe, I think in January, don't quote me on this, but it's going to be either late this year or early next year. They're going to be merging with ChargePoint. Now, if you know anything about electric cars, maybe ChargePoint rings a bell. I mean, it barely does for me, but I do definitely have seen it around if you live in California especially. There's over 10, okay, so these are all the locations of ChargePoint chargers. Their website's pretty terrible. Like the website's pretty outdated, but their app is basically what most people use. Look at how many locations they have just in California. They have probably over like 50,000, I would say, locations in California. I just don't want to give my location away, but they have so many locations all around the US. And basically the way it works is their business model is quite amazing because basically they sell a charger, right? They make their own chargers. I don't know if their website even shows this. Okay, so they basically make their own chargers, right? And the way it works is they sell it to the company that wants to install it. So let's say you own a business, and in California, the state of California actually gives a ton of grants for this. So if you're a business, you can literally get a grant to get a free charger installed. And where does the grant money go to? It goes to ChargePoint. So ChargePoint gets that money, and then they install it, right? And that's it. That's how they make their money. But it doesn't end there. If I want to go like down the street and charge my car, I actually have to pay them 20 cents, or I believe it's like 10 cents, 30 cents, depending on the location, of a transaction fee, and that transaction fee goes to ChargePoint, man. So they literally get reoccurring revenue, and that's a very, very nice business model that I really like. Basically, I went on their app and I just went to a charger, and I basically found all that out myself, and it's pretty darn good business model. Like, and a lot of the chargers, even though a lot of people aren't driving recently, it's been pretty full. Like, there's almost always a car at one of these chargers, which is kind of cool. So it's definitely a great opportunity, especially of a long-term play. So right here, they have 84 million chargers delivered. But it's definitely a long-term play, because the thing with blank check stocks, right? I'm going to talk about some of the risks about this right now, because SBE is going to merge with ChargePoint, right? I believe their ticker will change and all that. So what happens with a blank check company? It's supposed to be $10, hoping that it's going to merge. Now, since it's merged, it's okay to be $14, $13, but it's up 70%. So it's up quite a bit, right? And in the last month, it's been from 13, it's been to 17, so it's crazy volatile. So I personally bought a small position, but I won't buy any more until it actually merges. And even after that, I want to see their revenues and see how good they're doing. But long term, if you just want to buy and hold, this is actually a crazy play, because they're most likely not going to go anywhere. They've been around for many, many years. And they're probably going to be around in the future as well, especially since they have so many chargers already on the road. And obviously more demand is going to spike as more cars hit the road. Next up, enough about that. Let's go to the next one. Actually, I want to talk about Activision. And that is because I'm probably going to buy this with the money that I sold from Cheesecake Factory slowly, because I do definitely think Activision has a great play. It's down 1.5% today, which is nice, but they have a nice 4P. Their 4P is pretty low, man, 23. And especially if we can get down to $70, low 70s for Activision, we're looking at a 20 PE, like 22 PE, 21 PE. That's really good. The last time it hit that was back in October, November of last year, and that's pretty low. And the thing is, back then, obviously Corona didn't happen. A ton of people didn't even get into video games. I'm sure so many people got into video games because of COVID. And I believe, man, in 10 years, people watching sports, like esports, video games, is going to be so much bigger, and the audience is just going to be so much crazier. Instead of people watching baseball, more people are going to be watching video games online. I mean, it's already happening, but in 10 years from now, that I could just see that exponentially growing as younger kids grow up older and older. So that is that. The revenues are pretty nice. Now, it's kind of stagnant for my liking. That's the only bad thing I have about it, is that back in 2019, they couldn't really keep growing. They've grown 16, 17, 18. They kept growing. But 2019, they couldn't really do that. So I was kind of bummed out about that. But I do think 2020 should be pretty insane for Activision. Obviously, okay, they own these are all the games they own. They own Activision Blizzard, obviously. They own Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo, all these games. Overwatch is a big one, Warcraft, and then they own obviously all the Call of Duty games as well and the IP around that. And then they own other games as well. This is just the Blizzard side of things and Call of Duty side of things. They own King, which is Candy Crush. I'm sure you've played Candy Crush on the iPhone, and that's one of the biggest. That's, I think, like makes up 20-30% of their business right there. So that is obviously mobile gaming is going to keep growing. So that is one great thing as well. They're expected to grow 28% this year, which is pretty nice. But their stock is also up quite a bit this year. Obviously, it went from 50 to 70. So that's already priced in. Next year, supposedly, it's only going to grow 2%. But if you're into this stock, you're most likely going to be in it for more than 1 year. Right now, they have it priced as a buy, but I mean, they think it's gonna be $95. Price analysts say. So we just gotta wait and see. But in my opinion, I think this is gonna be a very good buy and very interesting, especially a lot greater opportunities than some of the retailers. That's for sure. So next up is golf. Okay, so you guys know Top Golf, right? So Callaway Golf Company is basically merging with Top Golf, or sorry, not merging. They're buying Top Golf. So they're already pretty established company, right? They have pretty decent. Like, look at the revenues, man. This, like, even if they weren't buying Top Golf, this is a pretty interesting buy. Look at, they've been increasing revenues like crazy. They almost doubled revenues last year in 2018 to 2019. That's pretty good. Now they're buying Top Golf. Now the reason I think people aren't as hyped. As you guys can see, when they announced that, it came down a lot. It literally came down from 20 to $15 a share. I should have bought it for 15, but I mean, it is what it is. And the reason that is because I think they bought it for too expensive. But this is a big but. They've added a lot of debt, obviously, right? That's the only bad thing. They've added a ton of debt to the company, but obviously a lot of that debt is long term. If we look at the balance sheet, I don't think the debt has been added yet to the balance sheet, but in terms of their cash, they have about 106,000. They have about 100 million in the balance sheet in cash, so it's not the best, but it's also a golf company. At the end of the day, they have to have a bit of debt, obviously, for their golf locations, stuff like that. But Topgolf is huge, and the thing is, Topgolf wanted to actually spin off into its own IPO already, and they bought it under that IPO quite a bit. So they've already pretty much had they bought it at a pretty good deal already. So this is definitely something I would look into. This is probably one of the least ones I would look into, but no, it's definitely still very much actually catches my interest, right? Because Topgolf, if you go to YouTube and you just search Topgolf, they're pretty damn, oh my god, they're pretty famous. Like, everyone knows them. They have locations in Vegas, stuff like that. If you've been there, it's one of the craziest things. Now I'm pretty sure they actually like own the machines and like everything like that, so they're pretty proprietary. All the rich people basically go to Topgolf. At the end of the day, it attracts a lot of rich people, and it's pretty damn, like, it's pretty nice. And I believe they will obviously be growing and expanding locations and stuff like that. But yeah, this is definitely something I would definitely look into. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I want to be posting more pretty soon. I want to stay more consistent. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.